2. All right. Well,
do I run an animation like the cut in? Can you guys hear me? Do I run an animation like the cut in? I don't. What's the open for this?
we
I
don't.
don't hear anything.
We have a wipe, not an
Do you
animation.
have an IFB in?
Yeah.
Do I have to have an IFB in? No, wait. How come I don't hear anything? Hello? No.
She can't hear you at all.
Okay.
Is it turned down?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Am I cutting to something, or what? Am I rolling an animation? What am I doing?
Those watching online, stand by. We'll be with you here as we are about to start at 7.
We want to thank you tonight for joining us here on our Wave Winter Weather Special. I'm Maira and
And I'm meteorologist Brian Good on this snowy Saturday night.
Yes, it is coming down quickly.
It is, and it's been snowing a good chunk of the day today. What was your journey like when you came in? Did you get here right before it started?
I came right before it started. I was actually in Illinois earlier this morning. I left Illinois at 5:30, beat the storm. That was my goal.
Yeah.
Did really good at that. And then got into work before any of it started coming down really thick or heavy. So I got very lucky, Brian.
Yeah, it's been light so far, but here's what we're going to do. If you guys are tuning in, you're like, well, this is an odd looking format. This is how we actually stream all the time when we're doing whether the weather blog, our weather streams we do often, or on the news side of things, which Maira does often on our streaming channels. So we're live on our streaming channels, and we're live on social media, and we're live with you guys watching at home on TV as well. So we're giving you a little bit more of a different view of how we do newscast, more on the digital side, and we're going to walk you through the entire storm. We got several live people, live reporters that are out right now in the field. We're going to be checking in with them as well.
Yeah, and we can also see your comments here on social media if you're joining us. So we'll try to check those out while we're in the newscast and see what you all are saying. But I think everybody's just wondering, how much are we going to get, Brian?
Yeah, and some are, we'll be hearing some interesting comments at times from us. Don't worry about it. It's part of live TV.
Yeah, it's
part of live TV. Okay, let's start with the radar view. And here it is showing the snow that is moving through the region right now. And what we're tracking is a little bit of what we call a dry slot, if you will, working its way into areas just south and west of Louisville right now. And you can see the steadier band of snow that is showing up across portions right now of southern Indiana, right along northern Kentucky. That's where it's remaining more on the steadier side right now, southern Indiana and across the I-64 corridor. But a bit of a break for those of you along and I would say south of the parkways. That's where it's much more of a lighter snow that is taking place. But we're going to be tracking this throughout the rest of the evening where it's going to be filling back in. And you're thinking, wait a minute, I've only picked up a half inch, an inch of snow. Yeah, it's over, right? It's not. We got a long way to go. The very end of the storm is still more than 21 hours away from arriving here into wave country. So we've got a lot to get through, but you can see the sleet and the freezing rain right on the edge of that track. That is what we're watching for problems as we into later on tonight, and certainly for Sunday. That's when we're going to have much more of a mix getting involved. Yes, that will eat away at some of the snow totals. You're getting all snow now, but eventually that sleet will start to change up on some of the higher end totals because you will have that flip to sleet in some areas. I'll point that out in a second. You can see the very cold Arctic air. Look at that. It's just seeping down all the way into central Texas and all the way down south of I-40. But the warmer air, if you look carefully, there's a little notch right there east of Dallas. That is where our wind will switch around to more of a southeast wind as we into Sunday. That's going to allow the thermometer to move, especially some of the wind at the ground level, to a slightly warmer scenario. And I see warmer in a very loose way. I'm talking about upper teens to lower 20s. But it's the wind above our head that will actually allow for, in some cases, the snowflake to melt as it falls. And that's where you get into a sleet zones. So here's a live look right now into areas of E-Town. Poor visibility, right? Even though the snow's eased a bit, you guys have already picked up a nice little coating, making roads slick. Here is Futurecast. Between now and 11 o'clock, what can you expect? The snow will actually start to increase a bit more in intensity and coverage again. So a small break here for the next hour, maybe 2 hours. Then it'll fill right back in again. And as it does for that second push, that's where we'll start to get the heavier rates. But at the same time, that's also where the sleet starts to get involved south of the parkways. Right on the edge of where that sleet is, that is where the snow will be some of the heaviest that will take place. Now here we are at 2 o'clock in the morning for your Sunday. Some areas of sleet mixing in, some areas of freezing drizzle and rain may start to mix in south and east of the parkways. I'm talking to you, Marion County, Greene, Taylor, especially into Adair. Meanwhile, sleet perhaps in E-Town, all the way into Bardstown, and north of there, mainly snow near 64. But look how close this is for that sleet snow line. I'm talking about a difference between traveling, and you really can't travel, but theoretically here, between Brooks on 65 to, say, the outer loop exit on 65 into southern Jefferson County. That could be where the line may settle. I'm not saying that's exactly where it's going to be. I'm just saying it'll be that tight of a forecast versus heavy snow and getting into more of the sleet mix. This is going to be challenging. You're looking at data now on a model. We can't really use them to be exact on this for the rest of the night. So keep that in mind. We'll be tracking it hour by hour. It's the only way we can do a storm like this. The good news is we're here to do that, and we will guide you through it. We get into 5 o'clock in the morning, still heavy snow, increasing a bit more in Indiana. Likely still that snow sleet zone very close to I-64, and still an issue of sleet and or freezing rain in our southeast side here. We don't know yet how much that will be sleet versus freezing rain. It's kind of a toss-up on some of the data we looked at. Some are kind of flipping back and forth on a coin, if you will, on that. But as we head toward mid-morning on Sunday, we will get back colder again, and we will go back over to all snow as we into Sunday afternoon. And then this will all begin to wrap up, and then general snow showers will linger into Sunday night and even Monday morning before we finally say goodbye to this system. So here are the amounts forecast. Okay, so you've already picked up 1 to 2 inches in central Kentucky. You could gain several more tonight with that band as it forms down in Tennessee and lifts into central Kentucky. That's the majority of your snow accumulation tonight when that happens. And we're only hours away from that happening. Meanwhile, areas that stay all snow, oh yeah, a foot or more will fall. And in some areas, as we're tracking just north of the sleet, you can get more than 16 inches of snow. Incredible to think that. I think we're talking about maybe some 20-inch totals that can fall in the band just north there of I-64. As far as the ice goes, most of this will be ice accumulation on cars, roadways, your porch, not so much in the trees. While some light glazing in trees may happen in power lines, most of this is going to be on the ground. And that's where it could get to near ice storm levels as you get into Campbellsville, into Columbia. It's going to be very, very close. Roads, Myra, are going to stay an absolute mess as we head into the rest of the night tonight into the day there on Sunday.
You know, a lot to be careful with if you are going to be outside. Lena Noakes is one of our reporters who's outside. She's been waiting for a while. Let's check in with her about how things are looking. You can tell how windy it is because that snow's not falling straight down. It's kind of going sideways.
Yeah, Myra, it's picked up quite a lot just since we've been driving out further southwest Jefferson County. You can see in the camera probably the snow actually going sideways, and the snowflakes have gotten so much fluffier. I want to kind of take you to see how that looks just in the light here, the street light. Just look at that. It's so much fluffier. The snowflakes are so much bigger, and you can definitely see that impacting the accumulation on the ground. That also means the accumulation has been building on the roadways, creating a deterioration in the conditions of the road. Right behind me is Dixie Hwy, and you know how busy that can be right around dinner time, which is where we're at right now, about 7 p.m. But there have been few and far between people who have been taking Dixie Hwy. Of those who are driving on Dixie Hwy and really through all of southwest Jefferson County, they've been taking it pretty slow. I haven't seen anybody really kind of fly off the roadway because they're taking it too fast. Everybody's trying to take curves carefully. And it seems like heeding the warning of staying home because the roads right now, especially with that early snow, like Carson and Brian have talked about, it being a lot slicker just to even walk on, much less to drive on. So people are definitely heeding the warning and staying home. And we can definitely tell the snow is getting a lot heavier, Myra.
All right, Alina, just be careful out there. We know that with this weather, how cold it is. You just have to be careful out there. Taking a look at that radar, you can see just how intense some of this weather is coming. Let's go now to Meredith Lee, who is standing by waiting for us with a check of how things are out there. Hey, Meredith.
Yeah, Myra, we're standing with right in front of I-65. Just moments ago, we saw 2 plow trucks come by. They're still dropping salt at this point, and I wish I could put the microphone right up next to the road. We have seen some sparse traffic here. Some people are driving a little bit more, I won't say bravely, but boldly. We've seen a large mix of speeds that people are traveling at, and that's not going to be a good idea as these roads continue to see more slush buildup. That's why I want to put the microphone right next to it. As these cars are driving past, you can hear that moisture and that slush being kicked up as they're going by. Again, you're going to want to watch your speeds and how safe that you're traveling out on these roads. If you do have to be on the roads, of course, the city is urging people to stay inside. And that seems to be a better and better idea as this weather continues to get worse.
Right, Meredith, thank you so much for being live out there. Get warm. All right, a lot more to talk about here on our Wait Weather Special.
That's right. The storm is just now beginning, guys. We got hours to go.
All right, we're going to take a break and be right back.
All right, for those of you watching on the streaming side right now, we are in a commercial break at the moment.
We can take a deep
Now,
breath.
Myra, you can really say how you feel about the storm.
Brandon Redmond, sorry, want to say hello to our viewers. Thank you for writing and sharing comments. He said BOTS, for those of you that do not know what BOTS stands for, but if you follow Brian, you do. It's Bring On the Snow.
Bring on the snow.
So he says, BOTS, Brian, are you loving this as much as I am? So Brandon, hopefully you're out there making snow angels or something.
Something fun, right?
Yeah. A lot of great comments. People are saying snowing. It's like crazy in LaGrange, according to Mike Sievett, and Saturday night with Brian. Ooh, I like that. So people are really excited to be joining us here. So thank you for sharing these comments. So really
absolutely. Like all right, we got about 40 seconds left, and or so. We're going to be back on here in just a second. So hang tight. You're going to see a bit of a black screen for a moment. We'll be right back here in just a couple of minutes. All right, we're about 10 seconds out. All right, it's 12 minutes after 7 as we continue our Alert Day special coverage here on the Saturday night. Get Myra and myself here walking you through this winter storm, which we're tracking, impacting us so far with a light snow, but it's so cold, Myra. The roads have just been an absolute mess out there, impacting a lot of folks in many ways.
Yeah, you know, if you have to be trapped at home or trapped at work like we are right now, I'm glad that I'm with my buddy here, Brian, keeping us safe. We're having a lot of fun here while we're working. Of course, so much to take seriously, though, with this weather, because it's going to be a big one. I think when we haven't had big snow systems like this in a while, we kind of forget how to operate, right?
Exactly. We don't get these very often, but when we do, we always flash back to memorable events before that we've had when it comes to the set up there when it comes to the icy roads conditions, the long duration it takes to get digging back out of your neighborhood. Again, all that flashes back to us. So hopefully you've had a few under your belt. If you've lived here for a while, you know how this is going to play out. If you're new to here, sorry, this is not normal
Well,
for us to get these, but we've had them before.
yes, we've had them before, and that's what I was going to say. It seems like if you've been here, you've been through the 94 snowstorm. I remember the ice storm that we had several years ago when everything came to a screeching halt, like life was just like stopped.
Right. Let me take the weather real quick, because I'm going to show you some of the cold conditions we've got outside, because that's going to be another aspect of this, Myra, as we get into a very cold scenario the next couple of days. Once the snow falls, this is the next problem we got, is the bitter cold Arctic air that's coming our way. We're 14 in Louisville now, 14 at Fort Knox. We do have some wind outside. Thankfully, it's not as strong as it could be in a strong winter storm, but this one really will not be as known about wind as it will be a snowfall and sleet amounts. And of course, the ice storm that'll be mainly south of our area, but still graze in our southern counties. So the current feels like temperature, it's 1 lonely degrees, what it feels like outside, 3 below zero as you head into Paoli. So we have the cold weather advisory, extreme cold weather advisory that's out for much of the area. This will likely be upgraded to an extreme cold weather warning as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Here's the reason why. Wind chills Monday morning. I think these will trend colder than what you see here. We got 1 below now, 5 below into Paoli. I think this will trend closer to 10 below for Monday morning. Tuesday morning, not good. We're talking about 15 to 25 below zero. And so, Myra, that's the problem. We're going to run into this dangerously cold weather, and you get frostbite. You can run into problems with hypothermia, and that is going to be the second danger of this winter storm that we have to certainly track.
Absolutely. That's why doctors at U of L Health, they say the layers from top to bottom, that is really critical. If you do have to go out in the cold, you need to dress properly. So the kids who want to wear the shorts and the sweatshirt, that's not going to work. So you need to wear a heavy coat, a scarf, a mask that's going to cover your face, gloves. That's
any exposed skin. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Just make sure your skin is not exposed. Those water resistant boots are really critical. A hat, of course, loose fitting clothing, layer. That's the best thing that you can do.
Exactly. And again, keep in mind, you can get into a hypothermia setup if you're outside. So the kids, I know they're going to love the snow. It's not safe for them really to be out the next few days, especially. So that's kind of a bummer. And your pets, please make sure to keep them inside this entire winter storm, even longer than winter storm, because they will feel the extreme cold just like we will.
Yeah, and that salt can also be dangerous for their paws too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right on their paws. So yeah, try not to use the actual salt that you see all the time in stores there on your patio or your deck. If you're let your animal out, don't let them get it on the paws. You may have to carry them out to their spot.
Treat them like the royalty they are.
Yes.
All right. We're going to take a break and be right back.
All right. We are in
what's happening here?
Another break. I think they're working on things.
Oh, did we lose that window?
I think it's still up.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Here
Everybody said, what are y'all talking about?
What are you doing?
Now's the time to ask us a question.
Yeah. If you got some questions, folks, let me see. Someone's taken over my computer. Let's see. Okay. I'm back. Any info on predictions for the airport on Monday, 3 a.m. coming from, let's see, Jessica Taylor. Jessica, your best chance is to check with the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. They have their flight statuses updated. So that's your best bet to check to see how your flights, but I would expect cancellations for sure.
Yeah, and to get that specific too at 3 a.m. on a Monday, it's going to be a little hard to do, but we know that they're suspending their sorting operations for UPS. They're doing that on Sunday. So that's a sign that they're anticipating a lot of action's going to have to be done on Sunday to keep up the storm. That's going to be the most hectic period. And any delays we run into from the weekend, some of those delayed or canceled flights may end up filling in rapidly on Monday. That could lead to more cancellations because of the backlog. So we're not the only airport. We're one of at least a dozen airports that are facing problems with this winter storm. And that's the reason why this is going to be a bit of a challenge. All right. Yeah. So Marianne, CN, wants to know, what about Radcliffe? So Radcliffe is already also dealing with a big chunk of snow. Yeah, almost 2 inches, about 1.5 inches already fallen in that area. And I know it's eased a bit, but again, the radar is filling back in. I'm going to go through some of the weather maps in the radar again. If you missed it earlier, I will show you. come up when we get back from the break. But right now we're on a break on TV. In case you,
Yes. Marianne, I have family in E-Town, so I've been checking on them too. They've said that they've been seeing snow. So what about drifting? Doug Hendon wants to know. If I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. The font is like this little and I can't see.
Yeah, the drifting is going to be a concern in areas to get over the 12 inches, especially. That's where you're going to get some drifting. And if we end up with some of these amounts in the 15 to 20, 16 to 20 inch range, I still think they're reachable. This system can do that. I'm not saying everyone's going to get that amount, to be clear, but this system can do that.
All right, folks, just stand by with us. Welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us tonight on our Wave Winter Special. I'm Myra Ansari here with meteorologist Brian Good tonight. And Brian, were you able to get to the grocery store? Because what I love seeing right now is the empty shelves everywhere, and everyone's like, what are y'all making? Because the bread, the eggs
and everything
is gone. The meat, everything.
I'm okay. I'm good, even though I'm probably using more of the supplies here than it will be at home. But still, I got my stuff taken care of because I know better to venture out in public right before winter storm. It's never a good thing for a meteorologist to do. So we try to get our stuff taken care of.
I bet people would ask you, well, how much snow are we going to get? Do you get that every few minutes?
Every few minutes, at least every few minutes. We have the storm tracker up, right?
Yes.
Let me show you. I'm not sure where they're at. Right now.
That looks like.
But that's obviously 64, right?
Yeah,
like
64. You can see the hospital.
Oh, that doesn't look good. I mean, it's you got one lane that's, I would say, usable. I mean, you can get into the other lane, but yeah, I mean, they're both not great here. So that's the thing. And when you, for those that have to venture out, you have no choice. You end up finding the one lane that everyone's been using, and that's what you get into. That's what you need to do. Don't get into a lane that has not been touched by road crews, because that is going to be even more slick and dangerous if you do that. So try to use the one lane if that's all you got, and please take it slow. Don't be an aggressive driver. Don't be that person that comes running up behind a car and gives them anxiety because you're wanting to get somewhere fast. Don't put everybody's life in danger. Everybody go slow. Good 4, maybe 5 car lengths if you can between you and the car that's going to be ahead of you in the same lane. That way, if they suddenly have to stop or they slide, you have enough time to react. And as long as you prepare for that, especially with this evening snow, you're able to get around as long as you take those safety steps and you can get to your destination. But once we get into the deeper snow later on tonight into Sunday, it's going to be harder to get around at all.
You know, the big thing that the city has been saying, if you have to park on the street, make sure it's not an emergency snow route, because you don't want to be, blocking the way of those crews that are working. But also, you don't want to get stuck in, right? Because when those plows are coming through, all that snow is dumping over on one side. And the last thing you want to do is get trapped.
Your car will be buried. And you will not get to your car again for a couple of weeks, probably.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. A lot to take in today. Yeah. And we have much more to talk about. We're going to take a break and be right back, folks. Did they say break?
They said break at home.
What? I didn't hear anything you said. What did you say? Okay. Okay, so I need a route.
Alrighty.
Live. Who are we going to first? So Alina's on REM 1. Okay, got it. Yeah, you can still see us. This is kind of the behind the scenes look.
You're like, wait a minute, we hear you.
Why are you so composed one second and then kind of crazy the next? Well, this is the behind the scenes.
They're waiting for us to say something scandalous.
Yes, I know. Tammy, yes, we know we are still live.
We're not going to fall for that.
Yeah. So the best thing I've seen, like with this weather, everybody's like, what are you making? My aunt just sent me a banana pudding spread that she made. I was like, man, do you deliver? She was like, it's going to cost you in this weather. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. But you remember that meme that says, what are you doing in the snow? And the lady was like, I'm going to make some soup, eat some bread and desserts, and get all fat and sassy.
We know that one. Now we have a reason to actually watch it and play it again.
Exactly. I was kind of watching it earlier and just giggling to myself because fat and sassy, I've already had a roll of donuts. Like I wouldn't even want them, but I was like, it's here.
Hey, by the way, for those of you who are watching, they're always blog watchers. There's going to be a special edition of Snow Talk coming up at about 8 to 8:15 tonight.
Okay.
All right. You don't have to be here for that.
I'll be watching.
Like I'm going to be trying to get me some of that.
Okay.
Okay. And there's someone in our ear, by the way.
Yeah.
They're talking to us, so that's why we're pausing
awkwardly. All right, what are folks saying? Let's see. So does this qualify? The comments are coming in so fast, I can't see them.
Yeah, and I'll break down more of the meteorology side, by the way, of what's happening and answer more of your specific weather questions. This is more of a TV show that's, we're using the studio here to do this TV show side of the newscast. But when we get into the blog, we'll get into more finer details. So look for that notification in about an hour that'll come out.
Well, Crispy Brisket said, I should join you for Snow Talk. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know, Crispy.
Crispy, I don't know. Brian gets annoyed with me quickly.
I get anxious.
Yes, he does. And welcome back to our Wave Winter Weather Special. Hopefully you are prepared for what's to come. We've been telling folks about this for days, that we're going to have this big winter system moving through.
Exactly. In fact, we first were tracking it in December, and then we really locked in on it right after the new year. So this has been waiting for this one for a long time. And now it's here. But we're only in the first leg of this. No one knows that better how it is outside right now than our own Alina Noakes, who's live out in the snow. And Alina, it looks like the flakes are getting just a little bit bigger than what we had earlier today.
Yeah, Brian, a lot bigger because they're hitting me in the eyes. I'm trying to talk to you now. It's definitely windier out here. The flakes are a lot bigger and it's causing a lot more accumulation on the ground. I just want to give you a look at that. Hopefully you can see from where you're at. But I'm actually on the platform with some grass. Just a little while ago, I could see a lot more of it. Now I can't really. It's pretty covered. As we get onto the ground here, also, it looks like it's built up to where I thought earlier about half an inch. Now maybe closer to an inch and a half in some places. And like you guys said, it's that stuff that not the most packed in there. It just kind of falls away. Not much use for the snowmen and snowball fights and stuff like that. Thankfully, we're not doing any of that right now. But I have been talking to people who are trying to handle, of course, the driveways when it comes to this. We've heard about how people are treating the roads, but how are people treating the driveways? Thankfully, people in Louisville, they're not exactly inexperienced when it comes to this. And so for some people, they've been doing their own salt prep on their driveways. I talked to Glenn Edison, who has been trying to help out all of his family. When I caught up with him today, he had already done his work's driveway. He was at his sister's driveway, and he was headed home to do his own. Take a listen. Are you doing anything different this time around, or this is just your process every time?
This is it. I just try to get started before it gets really, really thick to where it doesn't matter. You got to shovel it first and then put something down. But if you can get it as it comes down, you can get ahead of it. And all you might have to do is just spread it. Just stay up on your spread. You don't have to shovel.
Well, he's hoping that he stayed ahead of it with that, but he recognizes his extreme cold temperatures might impact that a lot. So he's just hoping that the salt is going to work. Hopefully when that sun comes out and things can start to clear a little bit. But of course, he's doing the heavy lifting, as are many others in the city, trying to prepare their homes as the city tries to prepare the roads, and businesses try to prepare for any potential customers over the next week. But Brian, definitely looks like we are just at the start of it right now.
All right. Thank you, Elena. Appreciate that. And yeah, we're all hoping to get to the other side of this mess, because we know this is going to be the rough part of it. But hopefully everyone's just going to stay anchored down, and let's let the weather try to figure out how to get out of this stall. But it's going to take until the first week of February.
Yeah, we know Louisville and our surrounding communities, you all have really big hearts. Check on your neighbors, check on your loved ones. We're going to go live now to Meredith Lee. How's it looking out there, Meredith?
Well, it's looking pretty snowy, as we have been talking about. And the roadways, we've been seeing quite a bit more traffic here passing through as the time has gone on. At first, when we got here about an hour and a half ago and we started scoping out this location, it was just like a car or two every couple seconds. There was a good amount of time between them. And now they're coming in chunks. Of course, as soon as I say that, there's no cars behind me. But They're coming in chunks and they're coming quite a bit faster, and the roadways are just continuing to build up this slush. And this is a pretty stark contrast to what we've been seeing on the residential neighborhoods throughout the night. It's pretty much silent in many neighborhoods across Louisville. Cars are parked along the sides of the roads, of course, with their windshield wipers up, but they seem to be pretty empty. Now, we did catch someone earlier who was scraping some snow off of their sidewalk. They were trying to get an early start on shoveling, and here's what he had to say about it.
Are you doing anything different this
No.
time around, or
No.
just?
And so if you are getting an early start on shoveling, we spoke with Norton cardiologists earlier today, and they recommend working in about 15 to 20-minute chunks of time every couple hours to make sure that you are not overexerting yourself. They were telling us earlier that they see an increase of 30 to 40% more heart attacks from overexertion in the snow during the winter time than they do heart attacks during the rest of the year. So really, you're going to want to watch and make sure that you are being careful if you are leaving your house in this weather. And hopefully, in addition, staying safe on the roadways if you're leaving your house as well. We'll send it back over to you.
All right, Meredith, thank you so much. We really appreciate all of our live crews, and especially the first responders, the road crews who are out working in these treacherous conditions. We really appreciate you. We know that your job is not easy right now.
Very true. Again, kind of a programming note. I will be on with a special edition of Snow Talk on the blog. Look for the notification on the news and weather app coming up in about 40 minutes or so from now. I'll walk you through some of the meteorology side of how things are evolving tonight, and of course, the 4 report tonight at 11.
Yes, we'll see you then. Be safe out there. Bye, guys. Thanks so much for joining
Thanks
us.
for
Hold
watching.
on.
Look
There
for,
we go.
Look for the notification for the blog again. Give me about 40 to 45 minutes to get into the other room, get things reset, and I'll come right back in here, I promise, and then we'll walk through the weather side of things. So get your questions ready, and I'll see you guys coming up in about 45 minutes.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. See you later.
You want me to end this?
Yeah.